to Movies Battle Remake.
Welcome to Battle Remake. My name is Buzz Mead.
I'm Eric Little.
Tomorrow or today is the release of Suicide Squad on Blu-ray and DVD. And
just in time for the holiday season.
Probably VOD as well. I didn't see this in theaters. Did you catch it in theaters?
No. I didn't. First of all, this is not the kind of film I'd be interested in seeing in theaters.
No.
I don't really do a lot of the comic book, graphic novel stuff unless I'm with people.
Why is that?
I just never was interested.
Just not into it?
No, not really. Not my thing. I don't know. A lot of times they're not bad films. It's just I never. It was never my genre. Never really grew up with it or grew up into it. But I mean, I'll go see it if I'm with someone. If like, hey, we're going to go see fill in the blank.
Yeah.
You want to come with us? I'm like, yeah, sure. If I'm not doing anything.
Sure.
Also, the reviews for this weren't glowing.
They weren't. No.
But everyone kept talking about how they were seeing it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why? Like,
it made a lot of money for being how bad it was.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't think it was very good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it was.
I was just fine waiting until November.
Yeah. I think what interested people is just maybe the energy, that they saw, as far as the trailer, and just like the villain aspect and just like the different characters. And I think they responded to that.
Yeah.
And just, kind of like the Deadpool of the DC kind of type thing, to where it's someone who's evil. It wasn't Superman. It wasn't.
Well, this is a different side of a lot of characters we know, a lot of the universe we know. And isn't that basically, and again, I'm not the biggest Star Wars person in the world, so forgive me if I'm wrong here, if this is off base, but isn't that basically the premise behind Rogue One? Where Rogue One's kind of a different, it's kind of a story that's offshooting from something we knew happened.
Yeah. So. Yeah, kind of. It's like an extension of the universe that's not as known.
Yeah.
And because it's not Batman or Superman, like you have a little more, like leeway to play in the sandbox too, kind of type thing, And so like I have read the Suicide Squad comics. I have read that, and it's not a bad idea. It's an interesting idea as a concept. Like
I think so.
We'll bring all these bad guys together, and and somehow we'll make them do good.
This has been brought up in real life, not by serious people, but how many times, though, especially when our country has been closer to war, have people said, we got all these criminals in prisons that are overcrowding. Why don't we just arm them and send them to Afghanistan? Or send them, and in actuality, that would kind of be a terrible idea in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But this is exploring a realm or a possibility where, what? Here's how it could work.
Yeah.
Not saying it will work, but if it were to work, here's how it would have to go down.
Yeah. Let's check out the trailers for these two.
Wait, we haven't even talked about that.
Are we?
Before we get into trailers,
are we actually going to talk about Sinister Squad?
Well, we have to at least introduce why we're here.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
Yeah. Before we drop this load on people,
there was a production company that's called Asylum.
Yeah.
And they are historically known for doing films that are close to mainstream movies.
Yeah.
But not close enough to be sued. Or just finally like walking that line a little bit of this is kind of like this other movie, but it's not even close to being as good or whatever like that, kind of.
Well, it's very, very low budget.
Very low budget. Yes.
Like if you were an actor in one of these films, would you rather tell your parents you were in one of these films or tell your parents you had done porn?
Great question. I love where your head's at. I don't know. Yeah.
The question is the part of this is I have a friend that's done porn.
Right.
So
you mentioned that before.
He's very proud of that fact. So I would say you could make an argument for porn over an Asylum film.
Yeah. And the weird thing about these films too is and I've mentioned it to you before, and we've kind of talked about who is the actual market for the film, because are they trying to confuse people? Are they trying to trick people? I mean, are they hoping that it ends up in Redbox and instead of, and you're like, oh, that's that superhero movie that I heard about, kind of. And that's my.
I think they're predicating the fact predicating on the fact that people are stupid.
I think so.
That's what bothers me a little bit about it.
Yeah.
Like, this is for grandparents and aunts and uncles that see this somewhere and they think, oh, that's what they wanted for Christmas.
Right.
Here you go. That's that Sinister Squad.
Yeah.
No, it was Suicide Squad, Grandma.
Right.
Oh, well, what's this?
Right, but there we have your $5 or $10 or whatever it is.
Right.
You know, at that point or whatever. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
and you were telling, or I read this somewhere, they've never lost money on a film.
Well, how? It's made for like $1,000.
Yeah.
It looks like a low budget film. It really does.
I'll be honest, I didn't. There were okay acting performances in this. I mean,
a few,
not great, but people that I think if they take the right roles and maybe develop themselves a little bit better, they can be in some stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they're never going to be leading ladies and leading men in any films, but other than these.
Yeah.
But
I mean, yeah. We can talk about it.
There are merits to it. But anyway, that's what this is. It's meant to be a cheap knockoff.
Yeah. Let's check out these two trailers.
Okay, this is Suicide Squad.
This is the trailer that broke the internet. A soundtrack too that was
why did
the
trailer blow up?
They're bad guys. Worst of the worst.
I think just you know like as we were talking about, like the energy, the excitement of seeing something different, like from DC that wasn't Superman or Batman. You know.
Okay.
Hi, boys.
Well, Margot Robbie really broke out in this film, didn't she?
Yeah.
He's a crocodile and he eats people, burns people. You're possessed by a witch, and she's just crazy.
What was that? I should kill everyone and escape? Sorry. The voices. I'm kidding. That's not what they really said.
This is the deal. You're going somewhere very bad to do something that'll get you killed. Let's go save the world.
Isn't that what he said in
Independence Day?
Yeah.
I think so.
Toys.
And I believe that line was even in the trailer.
Let's do something fun.
Another really confusing role for Cara Delevingne, too. She's being in these high-profile pictures, but makes enough money to go run around and be rich and be Taylor Swift's friend. But
Seriously, the hell's wrong with you people?
We're bad guys. It's what we do.
was there? Oh, there was a trailer for Sinister Squad. Well.
You sure our boy's gonna show?
Careful, Piper.
Give it to me.
It's through the looking glass, Fee.
Rumpelstiltskin.
For some reason, this is an Alice Through the Looking Glass meets Sinister Suicide Squad.
If we're to beat these messengers, we'll need some monsters of our own.
Someone has to stop death.
There's something out there that scares you more than me.
One dollar.
Now we let the monsters out.
Goes by Bluebeard. Has a set of blades and he's stronger every time he kills someone.
The big bad wolf. Got it. Name's Carapace.
Cannibal Witch.
Gelda, Queen of Hearts.
Unhinged, unpredictable, and something of a secret weapon. Attention, Death's messenger.
I think there's more production value to the trailer than there was the film.
Yeah, the trailer actually makes it look interesting.
Leave my facility.
The movie's not quite as interesting.
My favorite part in the fight scene at the end is where the guy gets thrown almost entirely through the jail cell because you can tell it's made of plywood and it starts to come apart when the back of the guy hits the back of the cell.
Yeah.
Like there's a very visible crack, like between two boards.
Yeah. The interesting part of the first trailer is so that trailer it went viral and it got 1 million hits or 3 million hits or 10 million hits, like whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it was from that trailer that it's like alleged that the director actually lost his cut, of the film, and the film was given to the trailer company, and they were hired to edit the film actually. So DC saw the cut.
So they found somebody that they liked better that actually edited the trailer.
Correct.
Wow.
Well, okay. So they saw the trailer and they saw the reaction of the fans off that trailer. They saw David Ayer's cut, of the film. They didn't like it, and they gave it over to the trailer company instead to cut the whole film.
Wow.
So that's so a lot of people are complaining that there's the extended cut, there's David Ayer's cut, there's the trailer company's cut. There's a bunch of different cuts of Suicide Squad.
And knowing hardcore film fans, they want to see all of them. They want to be able to make their choices to what was the best.
Right. And even some of the actors have piped in and said that the director's cut had more backstory, had more character, or whatever. And the one that everyone else saw, in theaters, it was cut by the trailer company. So it's a lot more of the explosions and flashy things that they think people wanted to see, but it wasn't a lot of character stuff, and there was a lot of the Joker that was cut out and stuff like that people were talking about, and so it's just interesting that in our day and age, something like a trailer could actually influence what happens to the film ultimately.
Didn't the internet basically give Samuel L. Jackson his signature line in Snakes on a Plane?
That's true. That's very true too.
Granted, we're not exactly talking about a cinematic masterpiece, but the title came out, and this is the story I'd heard. The title came out, and a commenter on was it Fark at the time? But either way, somebody said if Samuel L. Jackson needs to have, I think you know what line I'm talking about.
Right.
That needs to be somewhere in the film, and sure enough, it was. Responding to that.
Yeah.
It's
the world we live in now, I guess.
That's why there are 4 Sharknadoes, Buzz.
That's true.
And
Round 1.
This never before has the viewer been able to influence content, or the consumer.
Yeah.
Because it's not just films, just the consumer in general been able to influence content more than now.
Yeah.
So, get the door. It's chilly in here.
Round 1.
Monkey let the heat out.
Let's talk about the story. So, as we alluded to a little bit earlier, the basic premise is that we're bringing together villains and bad guys in order to fight some kind of other bad guy or bigger bad guy. In Suicide Squad, it is famous villains of the DC universe, and they're brought together by Amanda Waller, who runs. I'm trying to think of what she runs in the TV series. It's called Argus, but I'm not sure they ever really call it anything in the film.
If the chief from Carmen Sandiego was still alive, and I don't think she is, she would have been great for this role.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
How awesome would that have been? Gumshoes.
Yeah. The interest. Really. And the Sinister Squad is the same premise, only they're using, I guess, fabled. How would you even describe what they're? It was Alice in Wonderland.
It's literally a mix of
Rumpelstiltskin.
It's a mix of wolf. It's a mix of Grimm's fairy tales.
Yeah.
And the Suicide Squad story.
Right.
It's rather than using DC villains, using Grimm's fairy tales because those are in the public domain and they can use that.
Correct.
But it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And it also kind of happens to be timely because we had Alice in Wonderland not long ago. Then I think Alice Through the Looking Glass.
Right.
Did that just come out or is that due out still?
That is on. It's on Blu-ray now and stuff like that. So I think it came out a few months ago.
So it's still very timely.
Yeah.
In that realm too.
Yeah.
So that's also how they can get away with doing essentially the same story.
Right.
Different characters.
Yeah. So of these two stories, which one did you find more engaging?
Well, how about the one I could kind of follow all the way through, Suicide Squad?
Original.
Sinister Squad, to say it was a dumpster fire would be an insult to dumpster fires and fire, which I think is a line I've used on this program before. But you know what? I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
As I was telling you, I would get bored with Sinister Squad. I would look on my phone for a couple of minutes. I'd look back at the movie, and It's in a completely different place.
Yeah.
I had no clue how it got there. And usually, if you look away from any kind of material for a few minutes, you're not all that lost.
Yeah.
You know, but this was just
yeah. I have problems with both films. I have
no. I mean, I'm not saying Suicide Squad's a perfect film. It's got a lot of problems in it. I think they tried to bite way too much storyline off in not a lot of time for a 2-hour film.
Yeah,
it feels like they tried to do too much in that 2 hours.
Yeah, well, I think what I don't understand and what's a hard thing to sell is if you're making a film about villains, and we've talked about this before about stakes and about you have to like people and you have to have someone to cheer for. There's really no one to cheer for in Suicide Squad. I mean,
no,
you're kind of just trying to hedge your bets on maybe the guy who was trying to bring back the Enchantress, the military guy, Rick Flag. I think he's the only one, and even he's like iffy, kind of a little bit.
Right.
But there's no one to cheer for, and even though they're villains, you never really see them do anything really bad. If like Will Smith is the heart of the film and as Deadshot, I don't think he gives a great enough performance for me to like him, and even though like his main thing is that like he just wants to be with his daughter and he wants do right by her and stuff like that.
Right.
It's not interesting to me at all. I don't know.
Is it me, or does at this phase of his career, or at least in this film, Will Smith looks like a crying Jordan face?
Kind of, yeah.
Like the whole time. Just, I don't know. Maybe it's that, or it's the trailers I'm seeing for his new movie where it looks like he's crying all the time. But he honestly looks like a crying Jordan face.
What is that movie called? I just saw it yesterday.
Where he writes all these feelings.
It's got the stupidest title in the world. I was like, ugh.
You saw the film yesterday?
No, I mean, I saw it.
I saw the trailer yesterday.
Okay. I was just like,
what's her name? It's in the film.
Me.
What's her name?
There's a lot of people in that film.
I know, but she's been on. We talked about her on this show.
Keira Knightley's in that film.
Is she?
Yeah, she was in the trailer. It feels like Love Actually, but not Love Actually. And I just saw Love Actually like 2 days ago.
Oh, what a film!
I hate Love Actually.
Why do you hate Love Actually?
We can do a whole podcast on why I hate Love Actually.
Why?
Anyway, let's get back to Sinister Squad.
Why?
The problem I have with Sinister Squad is that plot is so crazy, and they don't take time to explain anything. They don't take time to explain why Alice is trying to catch, or like why she has to fight death. Why the stakes of what happens if they don't succeed.
Right.
They don't talk about how they came together. They don't talk about how they came up with this plot. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Yeah.
And for someone who's trying to make films and trying to write, I was like, this is so bad that it's kind of, it's amazing that this actually got made.
It's not coherent.
No.
Not at all.
Not at all.
By the way, Collateral Beauty is the film I'm thinking of,
yes.
And Helen Mirren is the name I was blanking on.
Yes.
I didn't want to say the older lady because I think she's still very respected as an actor, and I don't want to marginalize her for her age or anything like that.
No, she's older.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, Keira Knightley, how about that?
Yeah, there's a lot of people in that movie.
I can't believe you don't like Love Actually.
We can talk about it.
I have to. Round 2, which directed Did You Like Better, David Ayer from Suicide Squad in the Ayer, or Jeremy Enman?
I'm going to go with Ayer because he attempted to give some kind of backstory and attempted to give some kind of coherence like throughout the whole film. The problem that I have with Inman is
everything.
Well, it's everything, but there's like small little things that I think they could have done something better. The whole film like kind of takes place inside that warehouse, and we never really like actually leave the warehouse at all. It feels very claustrophobic, that film. And
it feels like a movie that's set like in an insane asylum or something.
Kind of, yeah.
Where they just never leave, and
Yeah, and then like the other thing that I think they could have infused into that was even they could have explained Alice a little bit better because I think that actress was probably the best actor they had.
I thought she was all right.
And they don't explain anything about like how she got to that point or like what happened and why we should care about her. Or it was kind of absent-minded. So I have to go with Ayer, who I don't think it's perfect, but I mean like from all accounts, the theater version of it isn't like what like he wanted to put out, and he's put out out good movies before, like I think he did End of Watch and Fury, which are good movies, so I don't know, I'm not sure where it got lost.
I feel bad for people like that because that has to be so professionally frustrating.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, first of all, if this project here doesn't go as you or I would like, we only have ourselves to blame. I
blame other people.
But what I'm saying, like any of my other shows, if they don't go how they like,
yeah, it's you.
Yeah, right. Like you did something. I can't imagine pouring your heart and soul into the work for several months, only to have the final project be taken, one, out of your hands, and two, turn out in a way that's different than you intended.
Yeah,
that would be just so soul crushing.
Yeah,
like on every level, career wise. Because then would you not question yourself or doubt yourself a little bit?
I think it's tough. It's tough. Like, I mean,
yeah, you really have to have a thick skin. But
if you're talking about $1 billion property, if it's a Marvel film, if it's a Star Wars film, if it's a DC film, they're hoping these films make billions of dollars. Yeah, and I guess you got to be prepared to have a lot of cooks in that kitchen. Right. Yeah, and if you can, if you're fine with that, and if you're okay, maybe not getting your way all the time. Yeah. And with what comes up with that, like you're probably more of a traffic cop than a director half the time. Yeah. But yeah, as far as Jeremy Inman goes, would you direct an asylum film if asked? I would. Would you be in one? I would be in one. I would not be. Well, I was in a small budget like horror film as an extra. If you get a director role in an asylum film, and honestly, like I think we should turn much of the rest of the show into like appealing for asylum to put us in a show, because honestly, I think it would be a stunt that would benefit us. Yeah. We will bring our listeners to asylum, and that will make you tens of dollars. Yeah, and in exchange, we'll promote the crap out of your asylum film. You can even sponsor us. It depends, because Battle Remake presented by Asylum Films. Yeah, it depends, because I've been offered a handful of scripts like to direct, and I've turned them all down because the scripts weren't there, or there was something wrong, or like I would have to like I'd have to rewrite them, in order for it to make sense or stuff like that. So if it was locked into where it was a certain script, and you read it, and you knew it was hot garbage, I couldn't do it. No, because it takes so much effort to direct a film, so and they don't have put your heart into it. Yeah. Right, well, true. Yeah. So which is kind of why I feel for David Ayer. Back to what I was saying there, which is why you don't have to direct it. We can just make cameo appearances. We'll walk on to your asylum film, right, in exchange for like your sponsorship, Asylum, of Battle Remake. Again, the Battle Remake podcast presented by Asylum Films. Yeah. Okay. This is trying to push an agenda here. The show has turned to something else. I'm not really sure what it's turned into. Okay, so round three, we're going to talk about the people who actually bring the villains together. In the Suicide Squad, it's Amanda Waller, who's played by Viola Davis. In the Sinister Squad, it's Alice from Alice in Wonderland, played by Christina Licciardi. Of these two actresses, which do you think had the more successful of a performance? You know what? In a slight upset, I'm going to go with Alice here. Okay, I can see it. Because I really thought she was a fine actress. She did okay in the film. Like, this film does not fall on its face because of her. I thought for what she needed to do, she was fine in it. Yeah. It is also a bit of a pick against Viola Davis, because she's a much better actress than this. But I just didn't think, like, the role didn't mean anything to me in this film. I mean, it could have been literally anybody else there. Yeah. Like, they could have put, I'm trying to think, what's her name from Empire? Oh, geez. I know who you're talking about. I can't think of her name. Taraji P. Henson. Taraji P. Henson. Yeah. Is it P? Is that? I almost said Jim Henson. They could have put Jim Henson in this role. He's dead. I mean, he gone. But Jim Henson in this role, like I said, the woman from Carmen Sandiego could have been in this role. Yeah. Just all she had to do was be kind of shady and bring these people together. Yeah. But why does Viola Davis want to do any of this? Yeah. What is bringing her to this as the plan? Yeah. Like, why is she so invested in this plan? I don't get that out of this film. Yeah. So DC is doing something that's really interesting. They are deciding to keep their TV and their movies separate. So there actually is an actress who portrays the character of Amanda Waller on TV right now. Yeah. And the Amanda Waller character is really interesting too, because she is actually more evil than the people she's bringing together. She's always cutthroat. She's always scheming. She's always got a plan, you know, kind of. And I felt like the problem with that I had in Suicide Squad was that she wasn't doing that enough. The villain who ends up being the villain, the Enchantress or whatever, she's been recruited by Viola Davis, and somehow she's gotten like loose or whatever. So they're fighting a person that they've recruited, which I thought they should have been planning something else. Like she should have brought them together, you know, to fight something that was supposed to be like benign, but then it turned into something else. I didn't really buy into that character's like plan or whatever.
Yeah.
And like you said, I feel like that character has to have some kind of a motivation as far as like why she's doing this. If she hates villains or if she's something like that.
Is this just a plan she thought of and she thinks it's a great way to kill two birds with one stone? And because I think we all professionally from time to time have ideas that essentially become the hill we're willing to die on. Yeah. Is that what this is for her, or is there something personal involved? Right. I don't know. Yeah. I'll tell you who else I think would be excellent in this role. How about the lady in this? I don't know if this show you watch. In fact, I don't think it is because I don't think we've talked about it. The woman that plays the director of the FBI in Quantico. It was on ABC. This season, we're kind of finding out she's not all that she's supposed to be, but. Someone like that that's got that.
I don't think it's an actress thing, though. I think it was how the character's written.
Maybe so. Well, like I said, Viola Davis is a talented actress. I've seen other
she
stuff.
is. Yeah,
I've seen other stuff, and I like her other stuff. But this, it doesn't do it for me. Yeah. The character doesn't do it for me. But moreover, I'm giving this category to Alice because I thought Alice was one of the watchable parts of Sinister Squad.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I will actually go with you. I will.
How about that?
Yeah, I think she's great. I think that I wanted more out of that character. I wanted a backstory. I wanted to understand. Right. I wanted her to be more badass because I feel like she was a lot of the movies. She's just kind of like talking about stuff and she's not really like proactive. And I wanted her to be more proactive.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll go with you. I'll agree on that one.
No, the whole time I kept looking at her. I was like, you know what? This is not bad. This is the shining light of this film.
Yeah,
so,
I think so too.
So good luck, Christina Licciardi. Hope you find something else. Round 4.
Good luck.
I don't know if I'm doing a telethon at this point or.
Let's go.
Round 4, Deadshot. Will Smith versus Rumpelstiltskin. Johnny Ray Diaz.
Okay, so this is the male, I guess, lead for the lack of a better term. I mean. This is tough because I didn't like either of them really.
Rumpelstiltskin, that's the guy that has the slick back hair that's always looking at the camera and
every time he blinks, it's like blink, 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 and just like different shit like that.
I mean, he broke the fourth wall so many times that Donald Trump offered to rebuild it.
Nice.
But like,
I'll have to go with
original
Will Smith, I guess, because there was an attempt at some kind of a backstory. Again. There is an actor who's already on TV that has portrayed Deadshot.
Yeah.
And he's a white guy. And they have had that same the same story of like him, like of his family and stuff like that. They did something actually better in TV though. They actually gave him PTSD. So I think he ended up. I'm not sure if he killed his wife and his daughter or not, but he kind of went crazy, after he came back from the war. So then he's a villain, and he had he's haunted by that or whatever.
Right.
In the film version, his wife is remarried and he has a daughter, and that's kind of what he cares about. So I thought it was Deadshot light. Kind of for the lack of a better term. I thought the TV had more backstory. Having said that, Rumpelstiltskin is just a terrible character. I don't know what he's doing. I understand. He eventually tricks Death into him taking Death's place in hell, I think. I'm still trying to figure out what... I was actually thinking about the film today. I'm like, wait, what actually happened in that film?
If I were to throw up in my mouth while watching this film and then swallow that, it would still be a better experience than watching the Rumpelstiltskin scenes of this movie.
Okay.
I mean, and it's not necessarily a Johnny Ray Diaz thing, but just the way it was written, it was just...
The way it was written...
This is an obnoxious character, and it's not it's kind of played obnoxiously, but
he overacts a great deal.
He overacts a huge deal.
Yeah,
a huge deal. But I'm with you on Will Smith. I'm not all that satisfied with him in this film either. Yeah. And Will Smith's a fine actor. He really is.
Yeah.
Next to Denzel Washington, he as far as actors the last 20 years that have really taken on some weighty roles, I think Will Smith is somebody that's up there. That's taken on some big time stuff.
Yeah. Of all the roles in Suicide Squad, I think he's the miscast one out of anybody because he brings a lot of humanity to his roles, and I don't think that's what the character needed. I don't think it needs humanity.
No.
I think it needs to be evil, and you have to like him for being evil because that's what his thing is. I mean, he keeps talking about that he's an assassin, but I mean, there's movies out right now about assassins.
But then he wants to break out into the pursuit of happiness or something like that.
And I think it's wrong. And the other thing that I'll say, and this might be controversial or not, but I think the fact that he is African American changed that role because there was like 2 or 3 like black jokes in the movie that I thought hit a wrong tone.
Yeah.
And it kind of, I was like, oh, that kind of changes what the character's about. And I'm not saying that Spider-Man it has to be white or Superman has to be white. I'm fine with changing it, but if you introduce color into a character, it kind of changes it sometimes, especially when they, if they talk about, the impact and stuff like that. So I thought it impacted the character negatively.
Yeah.
So I
liked the relationship that Deadshot and Harley Quinn had, or they were going for there.
Yeah.
But it just didn't really land. They they didn't have enough time to develop that.
No, I didn't feel chemistry between those two.
That was an attempt at it, but I just think it's 2 cold, unfeeling characters that, are largely cold and unfeeling characters.
Yeah.
I mean, Harley Quinn has a relationship with the Joker, but maybe she's only capable of one relationship at a time.
Yeah.
Of any sort.
That's true.
And I think that's the way. Maybe that's what we're told about villains and folks that do bad things. And maybe they're only capable of a couple of these. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I'm going with Will Smith, but I don't think that was necessarily well done either.
All right. We'll take a short break here. We'll be right back with more Battle Remake.
City.
Those assholes here yet?
Yeah, they're here.
Alpha, Bravo team on me.
What the hell, Flag?
Unlock them.
It's a good thing that it made this, a ton of money because they had to pay all those artists that
You're darn right. Holy cow, this sound. It's like every second.
Yeah.
Hi, boys.
It's like going to a minor league hockey game or something like that. And it's like all kinds of cuts of...
That's a great,
And we'll talk about music later on.
What was that? I should kill everyone and escape? Sorry. The voices. I'm kidding. Jeez. That's not what they really said.
What do we got here?
Margot Robbie.
12 pounds of shit in a 10-pound sack.
Not really into blondes or crazy women, but you know what? Like,
Welcome to the party, Captain.
I think I make an exception for Margot Robbie.
Hey, what's going on, man?
She's over the top, but that's what the character's supposed to be.
Exactly.
This red streak hits me out of nowhere.
Shut up. You were caught robbing a diamond exchange.
Oh, was not.
I love this guy cut out of a bag, and then he gets up and punches somebody in the face.
Wonderful.
Have a good time, scumbag.
He punches a woman.
She had a mouth.
Listen up. You're next. Injection you got. It's a nanite explosive. The size of a rice grain, but as powerful as a hand grenade. You disobey me, you die. You try to escape, you die. You otherwise irritate or vex me, and guess what?
You die.
You die.
I'm known to be quite vexing. I'm just forewarning you.
Ladies, shut up! This is the deal. You're going somewhere very bad to do something that'll get you killed. But until that happens, you're my problem.
So was that like a pep talk?
Yeah, that was pep talk. Here's your shit. Grab what you need for a fight. We're wheels up in 10.
You might want to work on your team motivation thing. You heard of Phil Jackson?
Yeah.
He's like the gold standard, okay? Triangle, bitch. Study.
Another song.
More you get some Eminem now. So
that's a scene from the Suicide Squad. I don't know where to start with it. So that was Margot Robbie as
just leave Margot Robbie up on the screen right now.
Harley Quinn. For round 5, let's talk about Harley Quinn versus the Queen of Hearts. I had someone actually written as the Queen of Hearts, but I think it was the wrong actor, so I took it out of there. But in both films, there's a Harley Quinn like type of character. And in the Suicide Squad, it's played by Margot Robbie, of course. And in the Queen of Hearts, it's an African-American actress.
That's the scene where she puts the trigger to her head.
And she's able to mind control people. And her name was the Queen of Hearts, and she kind of is sweet on the Rumpelstiltskin, and they're like boyfriend and girlfriend type thing. Of those two characters, which did you think was more successful?
She's sweet on Rumpelstiltskin. That's so swell.
She calls him Rumpy.
Oh, Rumpy. That's so swell, Buzz.
Yeah.
So swell.
Thank you.
Yeah, Margot Robbie. The Queen of Hearts character was the second most annoying character in the film, behind only Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah.
Just loud, boisterous, and I didn't really know why. I didn't get any of it. It's a complete lack of motivation, or understanding any motivations of anybody. Margot Robbie's actually been widely praised for her work in this film. It's kind of a breakout role. Before this, and again, this is me not having done a lot of research into Margot Robbie. What has she been in before this, really?
Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay, yeah.
She had a pretty good role in that one.
Right. But a lot of folks didn't really...
You saw a lot of her.
Well...
You can check it out later if you want.
I apparently need to check. I've not seen Wolf of Wall Street.
It's like Goodfellas, but with a lot of cocaine.
Nice.
A lot more cocaine, I should say.
A lot more cocaine than Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
But no, she actually is pretty good in this film because it's tough to play a deranged, crazy person, and she's deranged at the film.
Yeah. And I think she plays true to the character, which is a hard character to play because, like, you're right. Like, how far do you go with it? How much do you push it out? You know,
I mean, not to bring this up and draw a direct line to this, but look how far Heath Ledger took the Joker, and unfortunately, we don't have Heath Ledger with us anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you could do this with this kind of, because this isn't a dark crazy. This is just a weird crazy.
Yeah.
This is just like, you know, I met this girl at the bar in college, and I don't know how far I want to take it because she's really hot, but she's also really crazy.
Yeah.
That kind of crazy.
Yeah. And
what will you tolerate crazy?
God, you went to a different college than I did, man.
I went over the hill here.
Oh, okay, great. That explains it a lot, actually. I think she's good. It's an over-the-top performance, but like I said, that's kind of like what it's... I think that's what the film actually needs. I mean, you know, out of all the male testosterone, you know, I think
she balances it very nicely. I really think that.
There's a few places where it's totally like weird for her. Like she gets like real serious all of a sudden, but that's kind of going back to her craziness. Like sometimes like she gets crazy, sometimes not.
By the way, how many Harley Quinns did you see for Halloween this year? Good grief.
Yeah, all over the place.
Congratulations, you're the first.
Yeah, and it would have been interesting if they would have got somebody like for the Queen of Hearts role who took that over the top, you know, because I feel like if that would have been in that other film, it might have been okay because it was such an odd film and it might have been something that kind of like brought that film actually down because it was like there was really no standout performances like besides Alice, you know, kind of. So, but it would have been interesting to see. I don't know. Let's go round 6 here.
Round 6.
Yeah, I'd say that for you. I knew you were going to catch that.
Yeah. Round 6. Killer Croc, Adewale, Akinue, Agbaje.
I always save the hard names for Eric if you listen to this show all the time.
Yeah. Versus Where was this? I looked down there and I saw Adewale like in the first half. Like, wow, this is something. Versus Big Bad Wolf, played by Joseph Harris.
Okay. This is a tough one for me because I have problems with both these guys.
Yeah.
So Killer Croc, he does not look like he looks in the comics. He actually looks like a crocodile. Like he has, the crocodile head, and then it goes down to
and of
man's
course
body.
with other films, look at the Fantastic Four where they did a lot of makeup work to make the Thing look like the Thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's precedent for putting a lot of work into one character.
Yeah. And the actual voice that he had was really hard to understand what he was saying. I think it was changed in computer or something like that. The Big Bad Wolf, though, it's like a guy that has fangs in his mouth that they probably took off Venice Beach somewhere because that's the kind of haircut he has. I wish they could have done something else with his makeup to make him the Big Bad Wolf because it doesn't read like wolf at all. At least with the Killer Croc, he looks different, and they did a good job on the makeup and stuff like that.
A lot of the costumes in Sinister Squad, these look like something that you would try to do at a Halloween party if you forgot the Halloween party was that night and you were just trying to dress for theme based on what was in your closet at the time.
Yes.
There's nothing about this character's motif at all to make you think wolf of any sort.
No, it's not.
Any way.
He has the big teeth, but that's about it. That's all they could afford or something. It's almost as if they had a costume person and they said...
I think they had a trade deal with Spencer's Gifts.
And the costume person said, I work for scale, and they're like, you're too much. We can't afford you.
No, he's like, I will work for a scale. My bathroom scale. My bathroom scale broke. Just give me a scale.
That's still too much. So you're going original, I assume?
Yes.
Cool. All right.
Here's the one I want to talk about.
Okay. Let's talk round 7 here.
Round 7.
The music. Did you prefer the music of Suicide Squad, which had every popular song since the last 20 years?
Yeah.
Or the Sinister Squad, which honestly I don't remember if there was music in it.
It was canned, typical tension music.
Okay.
Dark, ominous kind of tones and stuff like that. Speaking of music, if Sinister Squad had played Black Beatles and done a mannequin challenge halfway through the film, that would have made this a better film.
Okay.
Than if they, than just what it was.
Mannequin challenge.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't really get what that was.
You've not seen the mannequin challenge?
I know I have seen it, but it's
I
wasn't expecting that reference.
I'm just saying that would have been way better.
Okay.
If they'd have done that. You're right about Suicide Squad. It does feel a little intense at times, where we go from... What was playing before... I get Eminem stuck in my head now. What was playing before at the beginning of the clip? Seven Nation Army. Yeah.
Nation Army.
We go from Seven Nation Army to Eminem, and it's just like the clip was 2.5 minutes. We already heard 2 popular songs.
I know the Stones were in there somewhere. There was
every intro of every person.
Yeah.
There's
Queen in the trailer.
Right, like every intro of every person, there's a song. And,
that's right. Yeah,
and it moves the story along, you feel like, in the first several minutes. And it is a little over the top and overdone, but in a movie that's overdone, you know, could you help it?
Yeah.
And they have a couple decent tracks. Give them credit for going with 21 Pilots for the Heathen song. That's become the signature song off this film.
Yeah.
You hear it at the end, in the end credits. 21 Pilots had a pretty good year this year.
Yeah.
I believe they're nominated for a few Grammys.
Yeah.
So they did all right this year. I don't know who other new up-and-coming artists, other than maybe the Chainsmokers, they could have put in this film and really capitalized off their success and the film's success. But I think it needs the music to move it along, and I'm fine with it. Does it seem, while watching it, it seemed a little much.
Yeah.
But looking back at it, I'm like, you know what, it moved things along. And by the way, while we're talking to music, can we also talk about effects?
No.
Sound effects? Not.
Okay.
Because Sinister Squad was just so obnoxious. Boing!
Yeah. So every time the Rumpelstiltskin, every time that character does something, it's like boing, or like when he blinks, it's like blink, blink, blink. Yeah, it's like a real
I'm watching Looney Tunes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
Remember DOA?
Yeah,
we did way back then, and they had to put an effect in when the guy saw a woman that was appealing.
Oh yeah. That was
The slide whistle,
but that's up in the air if that's actually happened or not. It's there, but it's not really known if it's intentional or not.
How is it not known?
I think we debated it.
Well, maybe so, but either way, it had the effect of that. Like, it just came off corny and cheesy, and like, why? Why is this here?
Yeah. I guess I'll have to go original too, but I want to know whose call it was to put all the songs in there, because is there a psychological approach to that? Is if you hear a song that you know in a movie, are you more likely to either feel comfortable in that scene, or if I'm almost betting that there's some kind of a psychological reason why it's all songs that we know.
I think it is.
And it could be because it was cut by a trailer company, and that's kind of what they cut trailers to, is songs that we know. But it feels like it's really purposeful and not in a good way to me.
I'm looking at the soundtrack. It's got Rick Ross, and there's "Sucker for Pain" is the other song that people would argue this is the along with the Heathens, is the title song from this. Eminem, "You Don't Own Me" is in this. Super Freak is in this. That's actually
Creedence is in this, isn't it?
But the Bohemian Rhapsody's Fortunate Son's in this. Bohemian Rhapsody is actually a Panic at the Disco cover. Bohemian Rhapsody. Spirit in the Sky is in this. Yeah. There's got to be so many other songs.
It's something for everybody.
There's got to be so many other. That's just what's on the soundtrack. Yeah. And the soundtrack's been nominated for 5 Grammys.
Which is weird to me. It's so weird because it's like you're just putting songs people like. How is that? How are you? That doesn't make any sense. You're going to nominate a Grammy to bringing together songs people like already.
Well, again, Heathens and Sucker for Pain, I think, may have come out for this or been released for this. I don't know. But like I said, I need to see. I'd like to see just an entire listing of what songs, because you could do 40. Oh, here it is. Though these songs appear in the movie, they're not included on the soundtrack album. And it's, again, Leslie Gore, "You Don't Own Me." House of the Rising Sun, "Sympathy for the Devil." So you're right, it is Rolling Stones.
Right.
Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, Kanye's in it. Ray Strummer is in it. Over here, Seven Nation Army is not, which you just heard, is not on the soundtrack.
Okay.
There is a Queen Bohemian Rhapsody on it. So that's also in the film too. Ballroom Blitz is only in the trailers. But yeah, like it's just chock full of popular music.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I said, wake me up when they're on the power play.
Yeah. No kidding. All right, we'll take another quick break, and we'll be right back here with more Battle Remake. This is an original song. This is not one off the radio. Although we do play it every time.
We do.
This is your plan. Running out of messages here, witch.
See how desperate she is? Desperate enough to let Rumpelstiltskin out of his hidey hole.
So they're working together. That's adorable.
Listen, seriously, see this through, right? Play her game and make her think she's in charge.
If you believe that, you're even madder than she is.
Get out of the way!
Drop it! What?
Oh, Rumpy, you do care.
You like that, don't you, baby?
All right, I can't watch anymore.
Yeah, make it go away.
All right, so we heard Nick Principe?
Who cares?
As Death character, really briefly. So Death is the lead villain in Sinister Squad. I'm rubbing my dome as I'm saying this. The villain in Suicide Squad is the Enchantress, played by Cara Delevingne. Delevingne.
Yeah, Delevingne.
Yeah, because that looks like that. Of these two performances, which did you like better?
I think I'm going to use this to talk about Cara Delevingne, because I was kind of going on that route earlier.
Okay.
Again, what do we know her for right now? She was in...
I couldn't place her.
She was in this. She was in Paper Towns and got some attention for that this spring.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was funny when she was on the interview circuit for Paper Towns, and she ran into some interviewers that were trying to give her a hard time, just being really obnoxious with her.
Mm-hmm.
And she just, like, walked off, which I thought was kind of funny, because they were asking her some rude questions.
Right.
And saying some rude stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, like, she's one of Taylor Swift's squad. She's one of the she's like the Hadid sisters and Selena Gomez. I mean, it's like, first of all, like, she is why I want to see, Cara Delevingne is in part why I want to see the Taylor Swift Squad Ocean's 11 remake. Because it would have all those people in it. It would have, like,
okay,
Kesha and, Selena Gomez and Cara Delevingne, for one. You're just trying to knock off a casino, which would be hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But she's a talented actress, but she keeps coming into these roles that don't really highlight her. So I'm a little confused by what she's trying to go for. She's just trying to make a bunch of money and have, like, a lifestyle, which there's nothing wrong with that. That is what it is. But or does she want to have, like, one impactful role in her career? Like, I don't get where she's trying to go with her career, really.
I think it was probably the first choice you gave her.
Pile of money?
Yeah.
Probably so. But I see her as kind of like, and they bear some physical resemblances, fine, but, she could have, like, an Emma Stone place in Hollywood, where she's in some funny stuff and she's in some impactful stuff, and people like her. But it's like she doesn't want to be. She just wants to do her films and then just live in her world and just do her thing, which is fine, But I guess I just don't get what she's going for right now.
Okay,
I don't know. That having been said, she's much better than Death in this. In Sinister Squad.
Yeah,
Death's. I don't get that character.
Yeah. Well, what's weird about Death is that he's able to like, he jumps bodies. So Death has messengers.
Yeah.
And like, if somebody is dead, like, they'll come back as Death. So
yeah.
I think throughout the movie he's played by three or four different people, I think.
Maybe so.
And for some reason, like, it keeps coming back to the same guy after a while. But like, that makes it hard to understand that character because it's always somebody else.
Right.
The other weird thing is that he has a weird sense of humor. Like, it's very like dry, like, jokes.
Yeah.
Like, I remember there was a joke about someone's breath, and I was like, if he's death, what the shit does he care about someone's breath for? You're death.
It was hers. It was the witch.
Yeah, the witch is. And I was like, why do you care about her breath? You're death.
Yeah.
You live in hell.
Nothing smells worse or is
nothing smells worse than hell, right?
Yeah.
So it's an odd, like, tone thing to have, but the Enchantress, I thought, was a really weak villain for them to fight. I kind of wish it was somebody else. I wish it was something better. It would have been better if it was the Joker. That would have been something. If they had to go against the Joker,
would have been a twist with a Harley Quinn character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you have something. As far as something interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it was forgettable for me. I don't know.
But still, my vote's for original, and that's a vote against Death.
Yeah, pretty much.
Original.
I'm not for Death at all.
No, me neither. And my comments on Cara Delevingne is not meant as a criticism. It's meant like I'm rooting for this actress. I really like this actress because I think there's a lot of promise there. Like I could see Cara Delevingne in the next 5-10 years doing a lot of roles in a lot of films that I really end up liking.
Yeah,
and I'm rooting for that. I want that to happen.
Yeah,
but I guess I'm a little confused. Like, I don't know what to expect.
Well, like, a lot of, I mean, you have to see it from their point of view.
Right,
they're handed a script that, I mean, they're handed this. They say Will Smith has signed on.
Margot Robbie's in it. Right. And it's DC Comics.
Yeah.
Like, okay, fine.
Viola Davis is in it.
Right.
What the hell else do you want?
Right.
Kind of.
No, you're right. You're right. But it's just,
yeah,
I don't know.
Okay.
I want to like her films. I really do.
Round 9.
Round 9, which effects did you like? Suicide Squads or whatever Sinister Squad wants to call effects?
Right. There was some like visual stuff that they do. I mean, just here and there, kind of.
I think in Sinister Squad, the best effects that they have is covering the lack of effects. The camera shots that they have to do to make up for the fact that it's a very clearly low-budget film. Like, the guy gets shot, but he's obscured by someone else.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
It's clever, kind of. I'll give it to the
original
Suicide Squad for the makeup on Killer Crocs. I thought that was really good. Even though it's not what I'd like to see for that character, I thought it was done really well. It was different. I haven't seen something like that, to that effect.
Yeah.
And he had to swim at one point, so it had to be waterproof. So I'll give it to them for that.
Yeah, I thought there were a lot of nice effects in Suicide Squad. A lot of stuff blew up. A lot of things that took some time and took some budget.
Yeah.
I will give a tip of the cap, actually, like I said, to Sinister Squad for some of the ways they had to cover the fact it was a low-budget film by not having a lot of these effects.
Yeah.
And they really had to be ingenious and clever to pick their shots so that you could mask the fact that, hey, we don't have the money to actually have someone fall over and have blood come from them.
Right.
So let's just...
It costs too much to do that, yeah.
Right. Let's just have the gun always conveniently out of frame and have the person obscured by somebody. I mean, because this is where the sound effects actually really, in some ways, made this film a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because a sound effect for a gunshot, that's nothing.
Yeah.
I could pull a sound effect for a gunshot out of my phone. Right? You want a toe? I'll give you a toe. But
right.
but that doesn't take anything. That's no money.
Yeah. So
if you're working with those parameters, low budget parameters, you're gonna have to do some things like that.
Yeah.
So they did the best they could with what they had. I thought. Again, like I said to you, my favorite / funniest part of the fight at the end was where the guy gets thrown into the back of the jail cell. Did you see it? Could you point out what I was talking about?
I think I know what you're talking about.
Where
is it when Blackbeard and the Big Bad Wolf are fighting?
I can't remember, but somebody gets
not
thrown.
Blackbeard, Bluebeard.
Somebody gets somebody gets thrown onto the top of a bench that's in the cell, the holding cell, and when they hit, we find out that it's just gray.
Is this it?
Maybe.
Let's turn it
we find out it's gray plywood. I actually thought there was some value to the
I think that was around where you were talking about.
Yeah. There was there was a little bit of value into the piping for the cells, but
but it clearly gave way too easy.
To
be metal. Yeah.
No, the concrete in the back is what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
Like it was painted gray to be like a concrete, but you could see when he hit it, it was clearly plywood. It definitely gave it a quality of this is a high school play.
Yeah.
There, go back. You can see it coming apart there in the back. There it is.
Oh yeah. I didn't see that, but yeah, you're right. So what Eric's talking about is there's like a piece of the wall like behind the cell, and
it's painted a very flat gray.
It's supposed to be like
the whole cell's a flat gray, like that's concrete.
Like it's concrete, but there's a huge crack in between, like where the two parts of the wall came together. So it's like cardboard, kind of. So
cardboard, plywood,
yeah,
comes apart like balsa wood.
I didn't catch. I think I had it on the background by this point. So I was just like, let's listen to it.
That's what when they got to the fight scene, I'm like, all right, let's invest in this. Let's see how this goes. Like, whoa, that's cheaply done. That's really cheaply done.
Yeah. All right, let's finish this up. Round 10.
Round 10.
The ending. Did you prefer the ending of Suicide Squad or the ending of Sinister Squad?
Suicide Squad because it happened. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I mean Sinister Squad because it happened.
Okay.
I blew the joke. Never mind. Sinister Squad, again, it's just a mess of a film throughout. Why should the ending be any different?
Okay.
I did give it a standing ovation when it was over because it was done.
That's fair.
Suicide Squad, though, at least it ties up in a sensible fashion.
Okay. I am going to fight you on this because I feel like Sinister Squad has the better ending.
Really?
And I will defend it. All right, so Death is defeated. Rumpelstiltskin tricks him into taking his place in hell. Why? we don't know.
Right.
He's killed his girlfriend so that he can meet her in hell. He planned that out. Alice defeats all the monsters. Him and Alice have some kind of a weird fucking alliance where it seems like he wants her, but I'm not really sure what's going on with it.
Yeah, it was strange.
It was weird. It ends though, and it seems like like she's going to have her squad of people to do whatever with or whatever.
A Sinister Squad,
right? Suicide Squad. I'm not sure what has been accomplished because they only fought the person that they recruited. So all the problems that happened were because they set up that team. All of them go back to jail. Will Smith gets to see his daughter, but he still has to go back to jail.
Right.
We don't know any more about them. They haven't accomplished really anything.
It's a bittersweet ending. It ends in a tie, almost.
I go Sinister Squad.
Feels like it. Well, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Fair enough.
I don't know. All right. Let's go to section we call
That's a wrap.
If you have to recommend either this film this film, Suicide Squad or Sinister Squad, which do you recommend?
If you purchase Sinister Squad for anybody, then you deserve the lump of coal in your stocking this Christmas.
I like it tied into the season.
Well, I would think that's how you do it. Like you're online and you forget because of the alliterative title, and like I said, grandmas and grandpas that aren't with it, aunts and uncles that maybe shopped Big Lots or something like that, and or your local outlet center, maybe they found that Sinister Squad was there. It was a lot cheaper, and it's like, well, I didn't get you the real thing, but. I had an aunt that used to do that one time. Like
really?
She'd get us Christmas gifts, and they were just weird. Like those instead of like brass stress balls in one time, just random sweatshirts and stuff with random stuff on them. Mm-hmm. I mean, they made not a lot of sense.
And you feel like Sinister Squad fits in with...
Yeah, like if I opened up a gift bag and it was from her, and it had Sinister Squad, like, oh, this is this is a gift from my Aunt Carla. That's what this was.
Yeah.
Like, that's what Sinister Squad was.
Yeah.
So if you're listening, Aunt Carla, sorry. I don't think she's listening, but...
Let's hope not.
No. Maybe call my mom or something.
Yeah. Call my mom. I like that. I'll have to recommend Suicide Squad just because it's the easier watch. However, if you want to watch the Suicide Squad, I recommend actually watching a 2014 film that's called Batman Assault on Arkham.
Okay.
It's a cartoon. It's a full-length cartoon, but it's the exact same. It's a concept. It has Amanda Waller. The Suicide Squad has it has a Joker, has Riddler, and it's a better story and it's a more interesting plot actually.
Right.
So if you want to see those characters in a film, I'd recommend that instead because it's a better watch.
I think the most important thing we need to get out there too is we were dead serious Asylum Films. We will come and make cameo appearances. And maybe you can sponsor this podcast, and we could actually come up with a workable deal here, where we take time on our podcast to promote your films,
right?
And maybe we'll slam them, but still, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But Buzz and I will be celebrity guests in your next film. Let us know where we have to be, and we'll make walk-on roles in that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll bring my brother. He's got some fun characters.
Yeah. I don't. It's weird because obviously they're getting stuff done. And they're putting out films, which is great. It's a hard job to do. It's not easy to make a film. I give it to them for that.
This is America, and if they can manage to make money doing films like this, and stay in business, more power to them.
Yeah,
that's the American way.
Having said that, I think there are a lot of talented writers who could do a better job.
Sure,
and who are able to, make a better product because this is bad.
Yeah.
So
that would still make a profitable film for you.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need a lot of money, but you do need some kind of creativity and the idea.
Buzzmead.
Yeah, right. All right. So that's
we're gonna end up dealing with Asylum no matter what. You know this.
You never know.
They're gonna get in touch with us. They're totally gonna reach out to us.
The final score is 98 to 91.
Yeah, we didn't really mean all those things.
Suicide Squad.
I mean, dumpster fire is not all it's cracked up to be. Asylum.
That's a loose term, by the way.
Right.
So the winner is Suicide Squad. If you want to follow us, you can check us out on iTunes, on Facebook, on Twitter, and on SoundCloud. We're going to throw some of these up on YouTube as well, so you can check us out there.
Yes, Asylum. Hit us up on Twitter. Do it, Asylum. You want to.
My name is Buzz Mead.
I'm Eric Whittle.
Until next time, have a good time all the time.